Before we get into today's conversation and fireside chat, I'd like to introduce a few really important people. First is Dean Pat Koski. Dean Koski is the Dean of the Graduate School in International Education. She's responsible for all of the activities of the graduate school and of international education for the university. Dean Koski, we're really happy that you're here for a bit and you can join us to see what we do in Rome.
Thank you.
Also joining us today, I'd like to recognize our esteemed colleagues and good friends from the Fay Jones School of Architecture and Design. I see Dean Peter McKeith. Thanks, Dean McKeith, for being here. And Associate Dean Ethel Goodstein Murphy. Dean McKeith, Dean Goodstein, thank you for participating in the long legacy that Rome Center has had with the Fay Jones School and all of the support. Okay, let's get into some fun, because that's what this is about. Joining me this afternoon is Francesco Bedeschi. Francesco is the director of the U of A Rome Center. Francesco, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit?
Yes, absolutely, Curt. Buonasera, innanzitutto. First of all, good evening or good afternoon for you, since I understand you're entering into your afternoon. So yes, my name is Francesco Bedeschi, and I don't know how many of you have been to Rome when I was here. I guess some of our guests have been here before the beginning of my activity here as a teaching assistant of the former director Davide Vitali. I am an architect by training, and I joined the University of Arkansas Rome Center in 2003, when I got the chance to start working again with Davide, who is my predecessor, and he is the one who started this program. I did my, let's say, career, so I began here teaching with Davide, then I had the chance to move to the United States to do my first teaching experience full-time. I was a visiting assistant professor at Mississippi State University, which is, by the way, one of our partner institutions. Then I came back, stayed a few more years, and then I got another opportunity to take a year off. I went back to the States, this time to New York City. So I went from Mississippi to New York State, New York City, where I took my master's, and then finally back in Rome in 2015. And that's when actually the Rome Center was moved from the School of Architecture under its current location, which is GSID. And so after that, I got more responsibility, more administrative responsibility. I had the chance to, let's say, help Davide coordinating the academic activities of the center until last year, when actually Davide retired and I got the chance to step on, and I'm so pleased and honored to have the chance to continue his work.
Great, thank you, Francesco. That's quite an illustrious background. I imagine several of the people participating today have been to Rome and maybe have even studied at Rome, but there are several people listening that didn't even know that we actually had a campus in Rome. Give us a real quick history. How long has the University of Arkansas had a presence in Rome? How and when did it start? And give us a little update on the history, if you would, please.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So as I said, this program was started actually more than 30 years ago. Last year, we celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Rome Center, and it was started by Davide Vitali, who is an architect, who at the time was working in Arkansas. And the dean of the School of Architecture at the time had this vision and said, I think I want my students to have an international experience. And that's how everything started. And this was the story of the Rome Center pretty much until 10 years ago. So Davide would run this program with the cohorts of students between 12, 15 students, either in the beginning was just a summer program, and then became, summer and fall, and then summer, fall, and spring, and so on. So 10 years ago, the Fulbright College of Art and Science starts to join forces with the School of Architecture, and so some of the students from Fulbright College start to come to Rome. And then another important event that happened thanks to personal relationships, connections. For example, the former dean from Arkansas went to Auburn, and he started a conversation with the new dean. And so slowly we got to have some partnerships, and that led to the growth of the center, up to a point that we couldn't stay anymore in the previous location, which was a beautiful apartment not too far from where we are today. And so we moved into a larger space, which is Palazzo Taverna, actually, is the location in which we are today. And I would say in the last 10 years, we saw a very strong growth of the center, mostly thanks to the architecture school of architecture and the partnerships, but also other programs. And then, as I mentioned before, 4 years ago, I guess the university decided to move the Rome Center out of the School of Architecture and put it under in the current location, which is the Graduate School of International Education, with the mission, let's say, of serving a wider range of students on campus. And the idea is that today the Rome Center has the ambition of being, as we like to say, the European hub of the University of Arkansas. That's where we are today, pretty much.
That's a great history, and that's really true. We've grown from maybe 20 or 40 students a year in Rome to over 200 students a year in Rome. Our Rome Center is a significant part of our study abroad portfolio. It is actually our most popular location for students to study abroad, and we now offer academic programs there year-round. Some of those courses are taught by U of A faculty, and some are taught by Rome faculty. Francesco, I want to go back to something you said. You said a palazzo. Not everybody might know what a palazzo is. Can you tell us about a palazzo, and particularly the Palazzo Taverna?
Yes, assolutamente. Well, the word palazzo translates literally in palace, okay? However, it has an interesting, the term is actually intimately related with the city of Rome, and it comes from the Palatino, the Palatine Hill. Everybody knows the famous 7 hills of Rome, right? And the Palatine Hill, which is the hill that pretty much overlooks over the Forum, was in ancient time the place where senators and then emperors had their residence, so their palace. And this hill grew so much that at a certain point it was a gigantic palace. Famous is the one by Nero and other very important emperors. So this idea of palazzo comes from that terminology. In the Middle Ages, and then even more in the Renaissance, the aristocratic families, in order to somehow, show their power, their richness, would build their own palazzi, their own palaces. Palazzo Taverna is one of them. We're very lucky to be able to be in Palazzo Taverna, because Palazzo Taverna is considered one of the most beautiful and famous palazzi of Rome. So that's pretty much what is a palazzo. But Curt, if you want, we can show our guests a little video in which they can learn a little bit more about what Palazzo Taverna is today.
Well, that would be awesome. Yeah, why don't you show that to us?
This is Razorback country. Buongiorno, benvenuti a Palazzo Taverna, the headquarters of the University of Arkansas Rome Center. The beautiful fountain that you see behind my back is actually the most known feature of this palazzo, because it's the only thing that people can see of the palazzo, since this still is, after almost 7 centuries, a private property. Palazzo Taverna has been privately owned for almost 7 centuries. The original name was Palazzo Orsini, from the last name of the Cardinale Giordano Orsini, who in the 15th century began the construction of the palace, readapting an old fortress that was sitting on top of the Monte Giordano. And even today we can still appreciate the symbol of the Orsini family, l'orso, the bear, together with a fragment of a medieval tower. After that, the palace was sold to the Gabrielli family, and then the Taverna, and finally to the Gallerati Scotti, who currently own the palace. And one of the most interesting features of this palace that makes it in a certain way unique from many others is that it kept its original medieval structure that you can appreciate from these wonderful images.
Wow.
That's where we are today. You know, we have this amazing opportunity of being inside one of the most really exclusive, I would say, location in the historic center of Rome. And from the picture, as you have seen, we're really few hundred meters from the Vatican and Piazza Navona. So we're teaching modern classes, and we're dealing with contemporary issues into an historic place in the center of this eternal city, which I think is a great thing for our students.
Well, just like Old Main is on one of the 7 hills of Fayetteville, it's nice to know our university has an Old Main palazzo on one of the hills of Rome. That's really fantastic. Francesco, tell us a little bit about the faculty and staff that work there. I know you don't work alone. I know you've got some people that work with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a wonderful team. Let me say this immediately. The Rome Center is run by a staff of about 5 people who help me with the administration, with student life, with technology. Fabio is right here today helping me with this event. But then obviously we have the faculty who are the engine of this program. And between the so-called core faculty, those who teach almost every semester in the summer, and the so-called consultant that are hired depending on the number of courses that we have and the type of course that we offer, we're looking at 15 people. So overall, between staff and faculty, we have a workforce of about 20. They are all extremely, prepared. Obviously, professors are all professionals, locals, Italians, and they have, great expertise in their fields. We work, and as I said at the beginning, we started from the School of Architecture. We still deeply belong to architecture. I would say architecture and is our backbone. However, in the last 5 years, we expanded our academic domain. So I mentioned Fulbright College. So we receive students from Fulbright College in different fields. The arts, especially in the summer, we have students from journalism and communication who came for a couple of spring semester. We have students from the history, the global studies. So we're expanding in that area. We also now are looking at opportunities with the Walton College of Business. We had summer program with them. We're looking at new opportunities for the semester. And also, the new area that we are exploring is the medical science. We're looking at opportunities for nursing students and occupational therapy. You know, the city of Rome, it's actually, I would say, one of the largest university city in the world, and it offers a lot of opportunity in different disciplines. Not to forget fashion. Fashion is another important part of our academic curriculum, and obviously everything that deals with Italian language and culture.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you know, Rome is, we often tend to think of it just as being an ancient city, but it's one of the modern metropolis of the world, and the university uses it that way. We got a lot of alumni that are here today, and you know, the Alumni Association is important. I belong to the Alumni Association, and I encourage everybody here that is an alum that they should also join the Alumni Association. Didn't the Alumni Association visit Rome last year? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. That was a great event, actually, Curt. About a year ago, we had the opportunity to host a group of alumni who were on a cruise across the Mediterranean. And so one of the stops of this cruise was obviously Rome. And so we worked with, there's a beautiful picture of the group visiting Palazzo Taverna. And in the photo, that's the group of them, that's me, but there's also Laura D'Angelo and Consuelo Lollobrigida, two of our instructors, who organized a wonderful day. And I'm wondering if tonight with us, there is someone who was on the trip with us. So we basically went to pick them at the Civitavecchia, at the harbor where the cruise ships arrive. We organized the transfer. We show them the Colosseum, the Roman Forum. Then we organized a nice little visit to the Palazzo Taverna. We showed them the place and had lunch with them. And then they continued their own excursion. So that was a really beautiful day.
That's great. Those alumni trips are just fantastic trips to get us all back together and make us think and take us new places. I hope the Alumni Association will travel there again. Brandy, you're always welcome. All you alums are always welcome at the Rome Center. Hey, let me change gears a little bit, Francesco, and let's get down to today. You know, this has been really a weird, kind of disruptive, and probably the word of the year, unprecedented kind of a thing because of the pandemic. You know, it's the first pandemic of my lifetime, and I hope it's the only one. I know back in January, the university started to recall students from China, South Korea, Japan, and Europe, and we had to recall all of our students from Italy, from the Rome Center. Can you tell us what last spring was like from Rome? Who was there? What happened? How did you manage through that?
Yeah, I mean, that was really an experience, and actually still is, as you know pretty well. Yeah, as you said, I was enjoying my first semester as new director. So after so many years, and here I am, you know, right in the middle of the perfect storm for the study abroad. I still remember the email that I received from one of our professors who was supposed to go to Milan the next weekend, and he was watching the news, and they were talking about somebody getting sick about this new virus coming to China. That was just, you know, the antipasto, the appetizer of what would have happened soon later. And so literally, as you said, not only we, the whole country had to face this unexpected first wave of pandemic. And as you pretty much all remember, Italy was at the forefront. We were, you know, considered the European China. You know, we had to go into lockdowns. And obviously, as soon as the Department of State and the CDC issued the warning, all the students had to go back. And I think that was the right thing to do, obviously, because pretty soon the whole country was literally shut down. And that honestly was really, really one of the strangest things I ever seen in my life. You know, besides the complexity of sending home more than 90 students who had to go back to their homes, putting them on an aircraft and making sure that they could go home safely. And again, students from 4 different institutions, so with different rules, different procedures. Then we found ourselves almost alone. And actually, I have a video that I would like to share with you that we filmed. Fabio and I and Sarah went out just to film what how the city looked like. And for those of you who have been to Rome, seeing that video will probably convey the message more than 100 words.
Yeah, okay, let's see the video. Show us a little bit about Rome.
Good morning and greetings from Rome, Italy. My name is Francesco Bedeschi and I'm the director of the University of Arkansas Rome Center. Today we're here to show you how the city of Rome, after more than 50 days of lockdown, is slowly starting to get back to a sort of new normal life. First of all, I'd like you to show you the place where the Rome Center is located. This is Via dei Coronari and is one of the oldest streets of Rome. Behind my back you can see the tall brown building is actually where the university has its study abroad center, which was established here more than 30 years ago. Now if you follow me, I'm going to show you a few steps from here, another interesting area where you can also appreciate how the city is still kind of empty. However, hopefully next week the situation will start to get better. Follow me. So here we are on Ponte degli Angeli, one of the most beautiful bridges of Rome, and actually this is the most important touristic part of the city of Rome, which as you can see is still completely empty. As a matter of fact, this is usually a very crowded path full of tourists and people who actually are not here yet. The city will slowly start to get back to a normal life. Slowly the Prime Minister has announced that all the activities will reopen, and particularly important for us are museums and other important sites like Castel Sant'Angelo that you can see behind my shoulder, and St. Peter, which is actually not too far from here. However, this is a very important moment for the city of Rome and for the country in general. It's the moment in which finally tourists and actually also our students will have the chance to come back and experience these amazing places.
Francesco, thank you. I know that the faculty at the Rome Center, and I see Dr. Wicks here, he was teaching there last spring. You all pivoted faster probably than almost any institution in the United States to start offering classes remotely. I'm really proud of what the faculty did there, and our students got back, they finished their semester. Normally at the end of the semester, you kind of have a celebration for the students. Did you do anything this year to celebrate students that did half the semester in Rome and half the semester in quarantine? But how did you finish up the semester?
Well, yes. Obviously, we had to pause for almost 2 weeks, and the biggest challenge we had was to pretty much reinvent completely our didactics, because as you know, and as our alumni know, if they have been here before, the Rome experience is pretty much, it's an experiential learning. As beautiful as this palazzo is, we like to bring the students outside in the city and spend time out with them. So without this possibility, we had to pretty much restructure our didactics. So that took a while, but our faculty did a tremendous job. They were amazing. So we got to the end. We got to the end, and so at the end of the semester, we usually do an exhibition, we do the fashion show. We couldn't do that, and we set up a virtual event. I have a portion of it that I would like to share with our friends, so they can also meet virtually some of our instructors.
Okay, let's see that.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to send you a huge hug from Rome. I'm going to be missing you. You've been a great group to work with, so I wish for you the best, and I hope we'll be walking miles in our Louboutins very soon. Bye!
don't you? Well, this is a postcard for you from Rome with love. Wish you all the best. Thank you for this crazy semester. Kiss and hugs from me and Maria Vittoria. Ciao.
Hi girls, compliments for the great work that you did in this really difficult semester. Remember always, no stress, keep calm, you can do it, I'm sure about it. Bye girls, I miss you, big hug.
Ciao ragazzi, so we finally came to the end of this weird and Ciao ragazzi, so we finally came to the end of this weird and difficult semester. You made it. I'm really proud of you, and as I told you in class, I will never forget you. So when all this is over, come back to see us. We will be waiting for you. Arrivederci.
Hello, and thank you for being such a great, amazing group of students. I learned a lot from you. As I said, each and every one of you will reach very far. Thank you for joining us in Rome, and please know these doors are always open for you. So, happy trails until we meet again. Good luck.
Hi everybody, so thank you for being very patient this semester. We're so satisfied and proud of you guys, and fingers crossed for your future. Hope to see you soon, hopefully in Rome. Bye!
Hi, here is Riccardo. This semester I taught 3 different classes. It was an intense semester, it was a strange semester, but it was also a wonderful semester. Now, here in Rome, I'm waiting for you all. Ciao!
Dear students, this hot semester finally comes to an end. I really would like to thank you for the motivation, for the courage and for the efforts. I hope that you can make it one day back to Rome, and you know that that day I will be your guide and I will show you all the places you haven't seen yet. Good luck with everything. Bye bye, Laura.
Good morning everybody. I wish you stay here. I miss you a lot. Everybody miss you a lot actually here in Rome. We had a great time during this semester. A big hug to everybody. Ciao, ciao from Rome.
Well, that's fantastic, Francesco. Those faculty, I know that they taught remotely from Rome, and you know, we weren't able to have students there for the summer. We're not able to for the fall. We're not able to next spring. We hope to get students back as soon as the pandemic gets under control and we can have more students travel again. What's been going on in the Rome Center in this time? What are the faculty doing? What are you doing with the center while we don't have students there? Catch us up.
Yeah, obviously we were getting ready. We used the summer time to plan for the future. We were hoping, as you said, to be able to offer classes in fall. Then that wasn't possible. We were, planning to do classes in spring. That's not going to be possible. We look at the summer as the first chance. We hear that the vaccine is on its way, things are getting better. And this second wave, to be honest with you, at least as far as Italy is concerned, looks a little bit better than the first one. So we are hopeful. What are we doing? Again, we're teaching remotely, but we're also trying to stay connected with campus. We are doing some videos. We've been doing some events, virtual events. We hosted some important, actually, events. You're familiar with TED, the think tank. We hosted an event for TEDx Rome. We organized a beautiful lecture with the chief technologies of NASA, where our students could attend. We did some other events, and so we were trying to keep the center engaged, both with the home campus, but also with the local reality. But again, most of our work was devoted to making the space COVID compliant and be ready to reopen anytime soon. And also in this case, I have another little, I think the last one, short video to show to our friends so they can also appreciate the beauty of our spaces inside the palazzo.
Benvenuti. So here we are. This is the check-in point where every day every student will have to stop by, and we will make sure to take the temperature, make sure that they sanitize their hands, and that they have their face mask with them. Also because these are the three only mandatory rules for schools or universities like us, together with the social distancing. From here on, you will see we enter in one of our classrooms, the one that we call the bridge, because it connects the so-called Empire Wing with the Baroque wing of the palace. And this is actually a connecting piece. As a result of the works of optimization and reorganization of our spaces that we carried out during the lockdown, we have created this area, which as you can see is the Student Life Center. And this is a particularly important space because it's barycentric. It's a sort of pivot point around which all the classrooms are organized. And this is where the students will find the student service coordinators who will assist with their everyday needs. From here, we have a direct connection to all the classrooms. So as we said, we have the wonderful new bridge that can seat up to 25 students. Then we have the so-called Fresco 1 and Fresco 2. And the Fresco 1 and Fresco 2 take the name from the beautiful paintings that you can appreciate in these pictures. Fresco 1 and Fresco 2 have a different layout. Fresco 1 is equipped for more traditional frontal teaching, while Fresco 2 has this horseshoe table for a different type of didactic. But probably the most beautiful room of the Empire Wing is our main hall. Our main hall is where we host all the gathering sessions, the orientation, final reviews, events, lectures, and so on. This room can seat up to 90 people under normal circumstances. But also in this case, due to the COVID-19 prescriptions, the current capacity is down to 36. Last but not least, here we are in the library, also known as the Yellow Room. This room, together with the one next door, the new seminar room, are spaces that we have created to make sure that our students have a place to read, study, but also relax between classes.
Wow, well, you guys have been really busy. Again, I want to mention, I'm really grateful for the faculty at the Rome Center. They're teaching back into classes on campus. They're still active teaching U of A students remotely from abroad and facing the 7-hour time challenge, teaching architecture classes and Italian classes. I have to admit, I'm actually in Italian too, so I'm almost as good as a freshman in speaking Italian again, which is good. So, Francesco, don't we have a great number of people here today? Do you recognize some names and faces?
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at the list of participants while the movie was going on, and I noticed a familiar name. I saw Savannah Miller on the call. Actually, Savannah was one of the students at the Rome Center in spring 2019. And so maybe, Savannah, if you are here and you want to join briefly this conversation and tell us about your experience at the Rome Center, what you did, and bring your perspective as a recent alumna of the Rome Center.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on this call today. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Savannah Miller, and I graduated from the University of Arkansas in December of 2019. And during my time at the U of A, I served as the Razorback Marching Band feature twirler, was involved in the broadcast journalism program, where that's where I got my degree. But more importantly, I was so fortunate to be able to study abroad at the University of Arkansas Rome Center in the spring of 2019. And I have to first say, it was literally like living in a fairy tale. While during my time there, I was taking 12 hours. So I studied 2 classes. The first 2 classes were ancient Rome history, where we really dove into the culture of Rome, why Rome looks like it does today. And then I also was working on my Italian language, so I was taking an upper level Italian class while I was there as well. And then I was fortunate enough to work with the journalism department back home in Fayetteville, and they were able to help me figure out a way to take a journalism class at the University of Arkansas Rome Center, but while online through the University of Arkansas back home. So it really helped me stay on top of my journalism career as well, while studying 5,000 miles away, all the way in Rome. I do have to say my favorite classes while I was there were taught by Professor Charles Muntz. He taught us our ancient Roman history courses. And the reason I fell in love with Rome was because of him and that class. The class was structured so differently. We were doing a lecture on Mondays of each week, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays for that class, we actually got to go out into Rome for 4 or 5 hours and tour the city and actually look at what we were studying in the classroom. And that was something that was so special about the experience, was I wasn't just looking at a piece of paper. I wasn't just looking at a picture or a video of something ancient. I was actually getting that hands-on experience in the city of Rome. And so that really just made it so much more special. And I got to learn why Rome looks the way it does today, how it's built up on top of each other, why the Colosseum was built the way it is. And so it was so amazing to be able to dive into that culture literally within the first week of school. We were already diving in, putting our feet in first, just really going for it. And so that was what was so special. Another thing on top of that, which made it even more just, I feel like special is such a cliche word, but it really was so special, was just the faculty at the University of Arkansas Rome Center. When I decided to move for 5 months to a foreign country at 21 years old, I never thought that I would be able to do that. But with the help of the Rome Center faculty, they made us feel so at home. Within the first 3 days that I was there, they took us to almost every single tourist attraction. We went to the Colosseum, we went to the Vatican City, we went to the Pantheon, we went to the Spanish Steps, and it was really helping us. I mean, at the time, we were all so jet lagged and exhausted, but looking back at all those moments and all those tours, it really helped us get acquainted to the city. I mean, we had to relearn. I've never taken a subway before, so I had to learn subway routes. I had to learn to speak with people who didn't speak the same language as me. And so thanks to the Rome Center faculty, they were really able to help all of the students just feel more comfortable and feel at home. They really helped us mentally and physically and checked in as much as they could to make sure we were doing well. I mean, like I said, we lived 5,000 miles away from our homes. We had very little technology at the time, talking to my mom at weird hours. So it was nice to have friendly faces at the Rome Center who made us feel right at home. And of course, we always called the hogs whenever we could, all around Rome, 1,000%. So it was very special. One other part of the experience that will forever be a part of my heart was where I got to live and just the location of the Rome Center. I was so fortunate to live a couple blocks over from the Vatican City. And I grew up going to Catholic or Christian grade school and high school. So I've always learned about the Pope and about different things in the Vatican City, but I've never actually gotten to experience what it's like to live in the Eternal City. And so I was able to go on daily runs through the Vatican City and visit the Vatican. And actually, my favorite story to tell people, I actually saw the Pope in the Pope Mobile drive by one day, and I had a heart attack. I called my mom. at 3 in the morning, US time, and she thought something was wrong, but I just had to tell her I saw the Pope. It was the best day of my life. So it was just an incredible experience to be able to just be a part of Roman culture and really experience Italy and all the pizza and pasta on top of getting to go to school and really be an Italian for 5 months. If I could go back and live forever and ever and ever in Italy, I would 1000% do it. And I'm just so grateful that the University of Arkansas gives us this amazing opportunity to be able to live out our dreams of living in a foreign country and make us so much stronger students and more well-rounded human beings coming out of our college experience.
Savannah, thank you. You know, more than 2,000 students have attended the Rome Center, and I think you spoke from the heart for all of them. I think if we'd ask every one of them, they'd tell a story that's the same. I often hear that Rome is fantastic. It was life transforming. I said, tell me what you remember. Gelato, pizza, and I'm glad I took comfortable walking shoes because it's a different kind of classroom experience. Hey, Francesco, we got about 15 minutes left. Maybe other people in the audience, we'd be glad to take some questions to either Francesco, like I put in chat. If you have really hard questions, ask Francesco. I take the easy questions. If you have fun questions, I'm sure Savannah can answer them, but maybe you got questions, or maybe you'd like to share your experience when you were a student in Rome. And it's free for all. You can just pipe in, or you can put something in chat and we'll respond to that. Any questions or comments, anybody? I see Karen Van Horn here. We had a great time when Karen visited for the 30th anniversary. That was great. Francesco, anything else you'd like to say or add to this?
First of all, I want to amazing to hear you know, from students and how much they enjoy this program. You know, that's why we do this job. And actually a story I want to share is that recently we hosted the study abroad fair. We participated in the virtual study abroad fair, and one of the most beautiful moments was when some students join us, some of the students who left the country in the spring, and they came back to us, and they were so you know, happy to talk to us again. And so anyway, so really thank you, Savannah, for your beautiful words. I mean, on my end, I mean, I'm looking at the chat if there's any questions. I don't see any specific questions. You know, Curt, we're just looking at the future. We're full of hope. We're sure that the things will get better. We like to think that this is a difficult time, but we'll get out stronger than before and with more opportunities. Actually, that's what I see here. You know, coming in the next future.
Yeah, you know, I'm really excited that again, we're moving beyond kind of the historic aspect of Rome. Next year, we're planning to have the nursing program, which will be occurring every fall in Rome. We've got a partnership with University of Arkansas Medical Sciences campus for their pharmacy executive program. Comes to visit in Rome now. We're working on our business program in Rome. Students can have a semester of international studies and get the entire international global studies minor in one semester while living globally. So kind of really some unique and dynamic things going on. Let me see, I got this. Dean McKeith, yeah, a little bit about the architecture instructors teaching in Rome. What are the classes? We have a lot of architecture faculty. What are the classes that the architecture faculty are teaching back into Rome this semester? I think there's some kind of creative seminars also.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, our let's say standard curriculum is based off you know, studio, which is one of the core courses, and obviously being in an urban setting, our studio is mostly focused on, you know, urban issues. You know, we like to challenge our students with themes that are obviously different from the one they are used to to find in Fayetteville or in other parts of America. Then we have a beautiful course which is called Architecture of the City, which is a sort of companion class, and that's spent most of the time around the city sketching and drawing and analyzing amazing buildings like the one that I can see behind your shoulder. Actually, one of my favorite sessions is to spend time at Fontana di Trevi. Then we have courses about modern Rome. We have courses, of course, about the history. But we're also offering different type of courses. You mentioned some creative initiatives. We have launched a class that is called Fashion and Architecture. As I mentioned before, one of our strong faculties is Antonella Buono, and Antonella Buono has been teaching for the architects this interdisciplinary class. You know, there's a lot of great fashion designers who trained as architects, you know. Ferré is one of the first one that comes to my mind. We are also Consuelo Lollobrigida, our art historian. She is a specialist of gender studies, and so she's been teaching a class about women in architecture. And obviously, historic preservation is another important topic. That's one of the courses that I teach, together with issues of sustainability and resiliency, because, you know, we tend to think about, you know, green design as something that it's a new trend. In reality, Rome is one of the most sustainable and resilient city in the world. And here students can learn the root of certain principles, even if today we apply them in a modern way. So that's pretty much what we are looking at, either in our normal course load or, you know, catalog. History of Italian Design is another classic course that we offer. So that's it, pretty much.
That's great. You know, I hate to call on people and call them out, but I just was again looking across the faces I see on the screen. I see Charles Hill. Charles came to the Rome 30 anniversary last year. Charles, glad to see you. I know you got to have your Rome experience a little bit later in your career, but it's good to see you. Dean McKeith, you know, we have a long history with architecture, and we're still involved. Maybe you'd like to add to the conversation?
Yeah, thank you, Curt, and thanks as well to Francesco for the leadership, which, as Curt and I and others, associate deans and deans alike, all the way down the line, know is challenging here in Fayetteville as it is in Rome. So thank you very much for your stewardship and leadership there. We've had the benefit in the school, of course, of working in Rome, as you said, for more than 30 years. And it's been the foundation for our overall study abroad curriculum now for 30 years. And in that regard, it's been important in these circumstances to bring the Rome faculty to Fayetteville, such as we can, and such as digital technology has made it possible now, where we have just about all of the faculty who everyone has met now in the video are now teaching, albeit remotely, design studio, participating in lecture courses, and also teaching professional elective seminars. It's been a very important element for us as we made the pivot last spring, and certainly now this fall, and we also know now looking into the next spring. And I really want to applaud the Rome faculty for making that pivot so dexterously, and to really maintaining the presence of Rome in the minds of our students and in the life of the school to the extent that they've been able to achieve that. It's a real testimony to the devotion of those faculty and to the attachment of the Rome Center very much still to the Fay Jones School's interests as well. So please, Francesco, extend my thanks to those faculty members, and you have my thanks now.
Thank you so much, Dean McKeith. And let me add that we are all very, very pleased of what has happened this semester. I can speak personally because, as you know, I'm teaching one studio, but I spoke with all my colleagues. This pandemic, in a certain way, has created separation, but it's also giving us the chance to be closer to each other. The fact that we're constantly interacting with our colleagues that we were used to see sometimes just for 2 days at final reviews where they had the chance to come to Rome, now makes us more, you know, we feel much closer to the department. So thank you so much for facilitating that, by the way.
Hey, Francesco, we have a question from David. I'm going to answer it, but then you correct me and give the right information. So David asked, how many people can we accommodate in Rome? If I remember correctly, we can probably, at absolute max capacity for the semester, we can have about 150 students at a time, somewhere between 135 and 150. During the pandemic, it's down at about half of that. If we move all our classrooms and we have people out in the field pretty often, down to about 70. Is that about right? How many people could we have there?
Yes, Curt, you got it right. I mean, obviously the social distancing inevitably reduced the capacity. But again, with obviously we had to get rid of some spaces that we had before the pandemic. But in this current configuration with the Empire Wing and the Gabrielli Uno, which, by the way, we're going to post a new video pretty soon. So if you stay connected with our social media, you have the chance to see that space as well. So with Gabrielli Uno and Empire Wing, yes, we are in a normal situation. We can accommodate pretty much 120, 130 students per semester. In summer, because we don't have studios, so students don't require the desk, I think we hit our record 2 summers ago. We had more than 220 students.
Yeah, so we could accommodate up to about 400, 450 per year. So that's a pretty good number. And we're kind of unique. That puts us as one of the largest university residential study centers in Italy, probably in the top 10. And we're kind of unique among a lot of our counterparts, our comparator schools, say in the Southeast Conference, that we actually have a European residential study center. That actually is a unique thing about our university and our study abroad programs, that students can go over, take University of Arkansas courses with University of Arkansas instructors in this particular location. Francesco, we've kind of run out of time, although I have to be honest, I miss Rome and I've enjoyed this. I think I could probably go on for hours. I would love to hear more stories, but it has been fun. I look forward to the time when the world reopens and when Rome reopens and the pandemic is over and we can kind of resume our academic life. Just like Fayetteville is the largest college town in Arkansas, they do say Rome is the largest college town in the world with about 300,000 college students at any one time. I can hardly wait to hear Savannah and other students call the Hogs back in Rome again. If you would, Francesco, give my regards to all of the faculty and staff of the Rome Center. And to all of you participating today, I'm so glad that you shared some time with us. It's important. If you'd like more information about the Rome Center, don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to know how you can be involved, we can give you some ideas on how you can be involved and support the Rome Center. To continue engagement, we posted our social media links in chat, so you can go look at our YouTube channel. We're building a nice catalog of films about our Rome Center at that point in time, at that location. And there's all the time, if you're in the Twitter's verse or the Instagram world, you'll be able to see the frequent postings from the Rome Center and stay abreast of what's going on. To end today, I'd like to thank the Arkansas Alumni Association and the staff, Brandy Cox and her staff, for hosting this today and giving us an opportunity to share with our alumni, our friends, and our colleagues. I want to give special thanks to the Graduate School and International Education Director of Development and Alumni Relations, Julie Olson, and Amy Unruh, our Communications Director. They really put in a lot of effort to help coordinate and organize this. We encourage you to stay connected. If you're going back to Rome, don't hesitate to reach out and stop and visit. Don't hesitate to join the Alumni Association and go on one of their Italian trips, and you get to see the Rome Center. Francesco, any final comments that you'd like to close us out with?
Just a big thank you to you, Curt, in particular, for being such a great colleague and our greatest fan and supporter on campus. I have to say, it's been always a pleasure to work with you. A great thank you to Dean McKeith for his constant support, because again, the School of Architecture remains the foundation on which the Rome Center is built. Obviously, thank you to the Alumni Association, to Julie Olsen, who has done a great job and helping me and you creating this event. Amy, the Director of Communication, she's always a great help for us to organize this, our social media, and obviously a great thank to my fantastic staff. Tonight Fabio and I are here. Fabio did this amazing job creating this beautiful, set. Don't worry, this is a fake fire. Otherwise, we will be. See, I can touch it, but it's fantastic. And again, as you said, just remember to all our alumni, but also our students. I see Savannah on the screen, that this is your second home. I'm always happy when somebody rings the bell, or I get an email or a phone call, and boom, here we go. A couple of students with their friends, sometimes with their husbands or wives. Pretty soon, I'm sure gonna start seeing people with kids, and that's when suddenly you say, "Oh, wow, I'm getting home," right?
Well,
So,
thank you, Francesco.
that's it.
Thank you, Francesco, and thank all of you. We hope that you have a great day. Stay connected to the university and stay connected to the Rome Center. Thank you very much for your time. It was an honor and privilege to visit with you today.
Grazie, arrivederci.
Grazie, arrivederci.